Hi everybody. Here's my 7th vlog, and I'm going to take a break from assessment for a bit and talk to you about. I just had two great conversations. The first with Adam Holt down in Haiti at the school he's working in at Quatabecque, and then I had another long talk with Bill Stelzer down in the Virgin Islands. Both of them fresh from their trip to Jamaica. And also, Bill's going back to Haiti to do a little tour of laptop projects in a couple of weeks. Anyway, so I figured I'd just use this vlog to talk about some of the things we were talking about. I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff, the two of them. But I think the things that are coming to my mind right now is Bill was really pushing for me to do something I've been meaning to do for a while, which is make a screencast unit on making courseware with eToys. This is something that I think people are intimidated by eToys. They don't realize that they don't need to know all of the programming stuff to really make use of it as an authoring environment, as a learning environment. And it's way better than PowerPoint right out of the box. And I think people don't think of eToys this way. They think of it as kind of this harder to use Scratch, which it's really not. I think I'll try that. I'll probably do that maybe starting next week, putting some videos up and just go through making a lesson, which can be used by teachers to gain some confidence doing it themselves. And also, it'll probably be a good prequel to Project Acorn's courseware unit or pillar. Now, another thing that Bill kept talking about with his experience talking to lots of other laptop deployments, Jamaica and others, is, as he said, everyone's afraid of eToys. Everybody's, there's this spectrum between laptop projects that focus on using laptops to teach computer and technology skills, and those that use them as learning tools for teaching things that teachers are already doing. And from the beginning, Waveplace has always focused on essentially doing the hardest thing first. Along with the mantra of confusion is good, we start people learning eToys the second day, which I think most people who are using these laptops would say they're not in favor of that. And there's a lot of reasons for it, but I guess the primary reason is that our goal is to teach creative problem solving. And while the laptops themselves are an exercise in that, many of the activities, most of the things you can do with the laptop are kind of quick one-off type things that you can do for maybe a day or two, or maybe even a week or two. But they, and a lot of the focus in creating educational games and things like that really come down towards conveying one or two concepts without any real depth, any real impetus for genuine creativity by the doer. What I'm after is sustained, iterative development by the person using the laptop. And and this requires mentoring, it requires guiding, it requires nudging. And yes, in any given laptop project, will somebody pick the thing up and reinvent nuclear fusion or whatever on their own? Yes, of course they will. You got 1,000 laptops, you're going to get 2 kids who are going to do something completely surprising, and that's the way it goes. But that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to encourage large numbers of people to think for themselves, to try things that are new. Our goal, our third goal is to promote digital fluency, which is, I think, what a lot of laptop projects are initially about. They're mainly about, which is teaching kids how to use these laptops for what adults use laptops for, browsing the web, and occasionally doing fun things with photos and tagging photos and things like that. That's great, but that's not, and it's an open question as to whether our approach is is a good approach, obviously. But the one thing I can say for sure is that by focusing on the hard thing first, the rest of it's easy. Is there a danger of discouraging people, of feeling, making them feel like they just can't get it, they can't, yes, of course. Of course there's a danger, and we see that in probably, I would say, out of all of the people, out of the 350 people that we've trained, probably about 15, maybe 20 of the people, all right, I'll be more charitable, how about 30 maybe, got discouraged and didn't come back. But I don't think it was necessarily because of the material. I think there were a lot of other factors that happened. But these same people that didn't come back, they were also the ones that were having the trouble to begin with too, and we see that. Would it have been more effective if we had just focused on sugar? If we had spent a week doing write and a week doing paint and and browsing them? If we had just focused on the laptop tasks? I don't know. I mean, I think the human factor in all this is certainly debatable. What I do know from my 2 calls is that there's a great need for content to be created by the local teachers, and in order for that to happen, we have to have an authoring workshop. We have to focus more on this secondary goal. First we have the foundation basic eToys unit, and then we have them go through and use the existing units, and then we have to go to the next level, which is having people create units themselves. Now, as far as Adam and Bill go, they're living it. They're definitely. It was great to hear all their experiences with other different groups that are going on. It's great to hear Adam's experience. He and I brought him down to Haiti. I guess it was November of 2010, and now he's living down there essentially full time, and he's really getting to know what it takes to make change at a local school level, and he also has lots of different groups that are coming down and visiting his efforts. So it's really great talking to both of them. They're both active participants in Acorn, and I'll be talking later to Christoph from Austria and Morgan from California today, also about assessment, and Christine as well. So things are hopping for Acorn, and we'll let you know more when more text gets written and more stuff shows up. But anyway, this is a quick little bit to throw some ideas out there that are being talked about and let people know what's going on. Thanks.